Hello and welcome! If you've been wondering what crafting consumables are and how to use them, this tutorial is for you. So, what are crafting consumables? Great question, thanks for asking! Crafting consumables are items you can offer to players throughout gameplay as an island resource. They can be used for goals, checkpoints, or to exchange for items players need. And in case you're feeling hungry, don't worry, there are plenty of yummy items under the consumable tab. Let's start with the basics. You first need to set up a group of devices to use in conjunction with crafting consumables. These devices will create a system that will grant and exchange crafting consumables for usable items. You will create a gameplay where fibrous herbs are granted after pressing a button. You will then deliver the fibrous herbs to the conditional button in exchange for cabbage. To make this happen, you will need a button, 2 item granters, one to grant the crafting consumable and the other to grant the usable item, and a conditional button. Place your devices a good distance apart so your dropped consumables don't accidentally register to the wrong device. If you don't, chaos may occur, and not the fun kind. Now stand directly beside your first item granter. This is the one you will use to register the dropped consumables. You will select the fibrous herbs by going into your inventory, then equipping fibrous herbs, and select play, which is at the top of the inventory. Now you'll see your herbs in your inventory. Next, click the fibrous herbs and select the split option. Half of the stack will drop from your inventory to the ground. They will automatically be registered to the compatible device you are standing next to. After that, stand beside the conditional button and open the play inventory. Click on the remaining fibrous herbs and drag them to the side until you see a backpack icon appear. Let go of the button to drop the stack onto the ground. The dropped consumables will automatically register to the conditional button when dropped. The last consumable you want to register will be a usable item for the second item granter. Open the creative inventory and equip cabbage under the consumables tab. Then click the play inventory again. Select the cabbage, drag it to the side, and then drop it to register it to the item granter. You now have all the consumables registered to your devices. The next step is to customize the settings on your devices. First, head to the button device and press the command to customize the device's settings. Scroll to interaction text and type press button for fibrous herbs. Players will now receive this command during gameplay. Next, set the button to communicate with the item granter. The button will now send a signal to the item granter when a player interacts with it, which will grant the fibrous herbs registered to it. Ready to make some cabbage? Fantastic! You will now customize the device players will use to exchange the fibrous herbs for cabbage. To do so, head to the conditional button and press command to customize the device settings. Scroll to interaction text and type insert herbs in exchange for cabbage. Players can follow this command to satisfy the requirements for the conditional button. Next, set up the conditional button to communicate with the second item granter with the cabbage. Make it grant cabbage when it receives a signal. Now, when the conditional button's requirements are met, it will send a signal to the item granter. Once the signal is received, the item granter will provide the cabbage registered to it. Now the fun part! Let's test out that gameplay. We'll first head to the button and interact with the device. After pressing the button, a stack of fibrous herbs will transfer into your play inventory. You can open the play inventory to confirm the transfer. You can now head to the conditional button and fulfill the device requirements. The conditional button's hologram indicates that it requires 1 fibrous herb to unlock. When you interact with the conditional button using the designated items in your inventory, you will receive 1 cabbage. The cabbage is now in your equipment bar, which you can see in the bottom right corner of the screen. Here's a hot tip. You can dress your button device to match the theme of the consumable being granted, or to match your mood. For example, you could use a bed of plants from the gallery's inventory that matches the theme of herbs. To disguise the button, you first want to press the command to customize the device's settings. Change the interaction text to read press for fibrous herbs. Then scroll to visible during gameplay and change the option to no. Now only the props will show during gameplay. Next, scroll to interaction radius and change the value to set a radius that the device can interact with. Set the radius to 1 meter for this example. Players now have a large enough radius from the prop to press the button. After altering the settings, place the prop inside the button's radius. Players can now have immersive gameplay where they harvest fibrous herbs from nature. They can then use those herbs to craft an edible cabbage that will increase their health, just like in real life.